Hello my friends, here we have the confirmation of the very big and sensitive kaboom for the Russian military. This is the city of Voronezh, Russian Federation, and this enterprise used to be the factory for the Russian semiconductors. They also produced electronics for the Russian military, the spare parts for the Russian ballistic missiles like for example Iskanders, and also cruise missiles like Ha-101, which is one of the most deadly missile Russia launches regularly on Ukraine. As you might see, the building is out of the roof and it is on fire, so it was devastated absolutely completely. This eyewitness says that her brother used to work in this factory, but not any longer. Yeah, so the fire comes from two of the sides, the roof is absent and yeah, it's gone. And this is the closer view. Yeah, it wasn't the drone strike, no, it was a missile. A powerful one, something like Flamingo, and the locals also report that they've heard the missile, not the drone. It was just a single kaboom that caused all of those devastations to this kind of the big building. Here we see the photo of one of the sides of this engineering construction, so the roof is gone, it is absent, as well as the top floor, and the floor below is totally gone too. Well, it's basically devastated. Yeah, so the hole itself, it is made by missile. Maybe it was Flamingo after all, yeah. It carries FP-1000 aviation bomb that might cause those devastations, of course, and it is one of the most powerful cruise missiles in the world. This jet engine cruise missile, FP-5 Flamingo, I'm sure. Since the video was filmed from the far distance, this is the object and of course it's not that visible, it's hard to judge. But I think that it is FP-5 with that sound and simply Ukraine doesn't have another tool to kaboom enterprise right away with a single strike. So the goal for Ukraine is understandable, not just to disturb Russian supplies and those long-range strikes on oil refineries, but also Ukraine wants to paralyze Russian military production, like for example cruise missiles, Iskanders, and also air defense systems. Of course they require semiconductors, transistors and electronics, which is being produced partially on the factory that was kaboomed today. My friends, as usual, a reminder for you. It is very important because people tend to forget, but yes, press like to this video just right now while you're watching it, and also subscribe for the channel. If you can, obviously, you may support my job on Patreon, the link for it is in the video description right below, or join channel membership by pressing button join. If you can. My friends, thank you so much for making this content possible, and let's continue with the video. Alright guys, about the Kinburn speed, it seems like I have the confirmation right now from the Ukrainian military officials that definitely supply lines, all of them were cut for Russians, and they stay there without fresh water, without food, without munition. Or at least they cannot refill, renew everything of that, and before there were rumors that Russia started the withdrawal of the forces from this part, but those were just the rumors until today. And it seems like Ukraine may try to perform some sort of the counterattack to the Kinburn speed. At least we have the information about it also from locals. They have reported that Ukraine gathers some of the forces in Mykolaiv region and also in Kherson Oblast. But we'll see. For now, those are just initial reports, and also authorities of Ukraine in Mykolaiv Oblast, they called locals not to film the movements of Ukrainian armed forces. Our enemy also worries about the possible landing operation of the Ukrainian army, and they say that probably it might be successful. They also mentioned that Ukraine gathers around 7,000 troops for the potential operation. Ukraine may start it from Mykolaiv or Kherson. It's just the broader picture for you to show, yeah, this is the Kinburn speed. Ukraine already tried to land on the territory, but both of the landing operations failed for Ukraine, and unfortunately there were life losses. The previous landing operations were performed by the military intelligence services, but now we'll see. And who knows, maybe Ukraine will not land there. For now, this is just the information from the internet, but also partially from Ukrainian military officials. Well, of course, officials are not saying about the imminent landing operation, no. They just state that Russians cannot put supplies to this Kinburn speed. Well, if Ukraine is really serious about this landing operation, I think it should be started from 3 of the directions. And why is the Kinburn speed so important? Because it opens the way to make a live port. And honestly, guys, I'm 100% sure that Ukraine will perform this operation. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the day after tomorrow, but somewhere in the future Ukraine will try to deoccupy this piece of land militarily. And another military commander of Ukraine, Denis Nosikov, reported that Russia definitely started the withdrawal of the forces from at least the part of the Kinburn spit. Very, very interesting. At least we have multiple of the sources now telling one thing. And to make the operation more successful, well, elsewhere also with the long-range strikes, Ukraine nails down the Russian air defense systems. For example, this is Panzer S-1. Well, this drone I think missed it, but the second one was really precise. So you see, Russians tried to hide it down, but no, it was too late. The system was spotted by Ukrainian drone operators, it was traced, and here it is, a big kaboom. Ukrainian military intelligence. The Russian military bloggers, some of them are also sharing those kind of the videos of their kaboomed air defense systems, saying that they should have the air defense for the air defense. Okay, yes. Well, they're telling about the small mobile groups with some of the machine guns, but even that doesn't say, for example, Russian convoys, which are being kaputted on the way to Crimea or from Crimea. And just right now, while I'm filming this video, a few minutes ago, this video was published, and it is Voronezh once again, the same place where this enterprise producing semiconductors was kaputted. And here's one more cloud, it could be additional strike to make sure that it is down completely. Okay, this is the bridge in Zaporizhia Oblast, occupied territory. It was kaboomed by Ukrainian aviation gliding bomb strike, and this is the result. The bridge is completely gone, so Russia is unable to transfer ammunition, supplies, everything through this bridge. The bridge is located in Vasilievka village, so here we go. It goes through this water storage and the lake itself, and it was recently kaboomed by Ukraine. It happened yesterday. And it was the main supply line for the Russian group in Kamensk direction. It means that probably here Ukraine may also start the counteroffensive. Yes, a bigger one compared to what it was before. Alright, this is the video of the Chongar bridge that was damaged recently by Ukrainian drone strikes, and it is unusable any longer. Russia tries to build the pontoon bridge very close, and probably this video was filmed from the pontoon bridge. Well, Ukraine also strikes the spiral connection and Russia restores it, and this is the situation for the Russian logistics. Simply, logistics cannot proceed normally with those strikes. So even with the Kerch bridge still alive, temporary, Russian logistics is suffering. With the Kerch bridge alone, you cannot feed peninsula normally. Alright, this video was filmed this evening, so the oil storage in Kerch Strait is still on fire. It was hit a couple of days ago, several tanks are burning, and you may see a huge cloud created by this volcano eruption. And you know what, guys, we have the new satellite images presented to us by Google of the Kerch bridge. Yes, we may zoom in, they're very, very detailed, and you may see the defense of this construction. Two-layer defense, no, the third one is here. Some of the ferries, or what did they put here? Well, still there is the way in, like for example you may see this, what, an oil tanker, probably, or maybe cargo ship. It was on the way out from the Azov Sea. But Russia is damn serious about this defense, you see, they put rails. Rails, what is this? Is it a train? And here is something, maybe also air defense. I guess they also may put some of the turrets here. Yeah, this is Panzer S-1. And some of the boat in the front, just in case. Maybe it's military, maybe not. Looks like the Coast Guard, so the protection of the Kerch bridge is there, but this one was hit recently, and it is very close to the Kerch bridge. Well, I think that with this protection it's almost impossible to hit the bridge using submarine drones or drone boats. Russia just left this tiny little corridor which they control 24/7 with their sonars, with their radars. However, a couple of years ago there was the kaboom of one of the pillars and allegedly pillar cracked. It was the Ukrainian drone submarine. But still, I might say that the aerostrikes, they give more freedom, especially if you may disable air defense. Not fully, but mainly, and launch lots of the cruise missiles and drones. That is how the Kerch bridge could be visited. An interesting video from the Lazars group. They performed drone drops on the Russian tanks behind the front lines. It's interesting that Russia already started to use some of the tanks even on the front lines. Oh, that's the Russian soldier, and spoiler, he didn't make it out. Our guys from Lazars are saying that they kaboomed 18 of the tanks during a single mission, and most of them are T-72 and also T-90, which is, as for me, the best Russian tank, but T-62 were also there. This is the older variant. You may see this round turret, this T-62. Well, they do not specify the direction where it happened, but Russians again tried to advance to the front lines. They're not going forward with their tank convoys any longer, but they may advance separately even with heavy machinery, like BMPs and tanks. Some of the info from Belarus, it was shared today by many of the media sources and also Belarus opposition. They're stating that Belarus definitely has some of the radars on its own territory, and it helps Russia to coordinate strikes on Ukraine. Also in the report it was mentioned that Belarus is preparing infrastructure and logistics to accommodate roughly 80,000 troops near Ukrainian border. So when Zelensky says about some of the threat to Ukraine from Belarus side, he is serious. Well, we'll see how it goes, but for Putin, of course, it is profitable to drag Belarus into the war. Alright guys, just briefly I want to add some of the information relative to Kostiantynivka, and Russians definitely on their maps they show the advancement of the red zone, so it's not just the gray one, but even they are saying that they cannot encircle Ukrainian troops in Kostiantynivka because yes, there is the presence of some of the infantry forces, but just occasional, so очаговое присутствие ВСУ, so it's not the great number of the Ukrainian troops they are fighting in Kostiantynivka. Both of the Russian and the Ukrainian forces are in the buildings, in the basements, so the actual situation, no map will show you it because it's boiling. But Ukrainian forces might be here, Russian forces might be here, so everything is mixed. So even when Russia takes control over Kostiantynivka, and unfortunately it will happen like that, there will not be the encirclement of the great number of the Ukrainian troops. Well, some of them could be encircled. It happened before in Avdiivka. Well, that number was great in Avdiivka, probably the biggest one. Maybe since Mariupol, remember how Azovstal defenders surrendered to Russians, it was the order, and still many of them are in the Russian prisons. So here this glory of encirclement for Russian troops will not happen, but they will occupy Kostiantynivka, maybe even the next months, we'll see. Wow, Fury Road or Road of Death in Donetsk region, just look at this. I have never seen this kind of the road with so many vehicles being kaputted. Jeez, some of them are several months there already. China-made golf carts, something else, Bukhanka, of course. Jeez, this is crazy. But still they're going, you see? Despite all of those threats from Ukrainian drones, the destiny for Russians is pretty much the same. Alright, Russian channels are saying about the restrictions of sale of gasoline and diesel. Local governor announced that also in Irkutsk region, which is very far away from Ukraine, thousands of kilometers. So gasoline sales will be limited to manual mode, according to governor. Temporary limits on gasoline sales will be introduced in Saratov. Saratov has a very big refinery, one of the biggest in Russia, maybe the biggest one. That refinery was hit multiple of the times, and yes, they cannot produce enough fuel. Also, the Russian aviation sector is suffering not just because of the lack of the spare parts for the Western-made jets, but also because of the lack of the jet fuel. Well guys, I'm gonna keep you updated, and please support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or you may join membership of YouTube channel by pressing button join. Obviously, if you can, yes, but you are making my job possible, this content, by your kind support, so you are awesome. And my friends, don't forget to press a like to this video and also subscribe for the channel. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.